In 1982, Blade Runner lost money before critics tore it apart. Here are 21 sci-fi disasters that became masterpieces. Smash subscribe, hit like, crazy movie history. Flash Gordon, 1980. Flash Gordon had a soundtrack by Queen that deafened everyone in the recording booth. Dino De Laurentiis wanted a giant space hit. He hired Mike Hodges to direct it. They built massive crazy sets in England. They used wild costumes and bright colors. The crazy production ran completely wild. They spent $35 million. The movie finally opened in theaters. Audiences just did not care about it at all. It made less than $30 million in America. Critics hated the silly tone. The studio lost a massive fortune. It really looked like a total disaster. Then something crazy happened. Cable television finally picked it up. Kids watched it every single day. The loud music caught on fast. The wild visuals blew their minds. People still talk about it today because it is pure crazy fun. Nobody makes crazy movies like this anymore today. It breaks every rule but wins your heart. Then a computer movie broke an entire studio. Tron, 1982. Tron got rejected for a visual effects Oscar because the voters thought the computers cheated. Walt Disney Productions took a massive risk on it. Steven Lisberger directed this crazy computer world. They shot it in live action first. Then they hand-painted every single glowing frame. It took forever to finish the job. The crazy process nearly broke the animators. Disney spent $17 million on it. The movie finally hit theaters. It only made $33 million. Parents did not understand it at all. Kids found it very confusing. The studio fired executives over the loss. It was a massive financial disaster. The movie faded away for many years. Then the internet exploded. People realized Tron predicted the digital future. The glowing suits became super iconic. Artists praised the insane handwork. People still talk about it today because it built a brand new world. It failed then but inspired everything after it. Then a monster movie ate everyone alive. The Thing, 1982. The Thing featured a monster that made test audiences vomit in the crowded theater aisles. John Carpenter directed this dark sci-fi horror movie. Rob Bottin handled the crazy creature effects. He worked so hard he ended up in the hospital. The production used tons of gross fake blood. Universal Pictures released it in the summer. It fought against E.T. the Extraterrestrial. E.T. won the big fight. The Thing made only $19 million at the box office. That was a total box office disaster. Critics called it pure garbage. They hated the gross effects. Carpenter lost his big studio deal. The movie died a very fast death. Then home video saved it. Fans discovered the brilliant practical effects. The paranoia scared a whole new generation. People still talk about it today because the monster looks insane. It is truly the best horror ever made. Then a dark future bored everyone to tears. Blade Runner, 1982. Blade Runner had a voiceover added because studio bosses thought audiences were too stupid to follow the plot. Ridley Scott directed this crazy dark future. Harrison Ford starred as a tired cop. The production rained constantly on the set. Crew members hated the cold, wet misery. The movie opened in theaters. It made $32 million. That barely covered the giant budget. Critics felt mixed about it at first. They called it beautiful but very boring. The studio panicked instantly. They pulled it from screens very fast. Warner Brothers lost money on the bad deal. It seemed like a totally dead project. Then the famous director cut leaked out. People finally saw Scott's true crazy vision. The dark atmosphere blew their minds. People still talk about it today because it built the modern cyberpunk look. Every single sci-fi city copies it now. Then a ghost movie killed its lead actress. Brainstorm, 1983. Brainstorm almost got destroyed when the studio scrapped the entire production to write off a tax loss. Douglas Trumbull directed this wild virtual reality story. Christopher Walken starred in the movie. Natalie Wood played his wife. The production moved forward. Then, terrible tragedy struck the set. Wood drowned in a terrible boating accident. The movie stopped filming instantly. MGM used the death to scrap the project. They just wanted the insurance money. Trumbull fought them in court. He forced them to finish the film. It finally reached very empty theaters. Nobody went to see it. It made only $10 million. The studio lost everything on it. People forgot about it completely. Then the internet found it. Tech fans saw the crazy VR predictions. The emotional ending made them cry. People still talk about it today because it shows tech danger perfectly. Then, A giant space worm swallowed a budget. Dune, 1984. Dune had so many speaking parts that crew members forgot to give some actors their chairs. David Lynch directed this massive space epic movie. He refused to use standard sci-fi lasers. He wanted weird sound guns instead. The production built huge sets in Mexico. The crew got terrible food poisoning. Filming dragged on forever. Universal Pictures released it into theaters. It made only $30 million. The budget was $40 million. It was a really huge financial bomb. Critics hated the weird, confusing story. Lynch hated the final studio cut. He disowned the movie completely. The franchise seemed dead forever. Then cult fans embraced the madness. The weird designs became legendary. The strange world built a massive following. People still talk about it today because it is beautifully broken. It is a wild trip you never forget. Then a rock star scientist fought aliens. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai. Across the Eighth Dimension, 1984. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai, Across the Eighth Dimension, had a watermelon that nobody on the crew could explain. W.D. Richter directed this crazy sci-fi adventure. Peter Weller played the scientist rock star. The production packed in wild alien villains. They filmed a massive ending sequence. The studio cut half of it out. Fox released the movie into theaters. It made only $6 million. The budget was $12 million. It tanked really hard. Audiences had no idea what was happening. The marketing failed completely. Fox abandoned the film instantly. The sequel died on the spot. Then VHS tapes saved it. People watched it at very late-night sleepovers. The weird humor finally clicked. The strange characters became huge cult icons. People still talk about it today because it throws 100 ideas at you. It never slows down for a single second. Then, the world ended, and nobody noticed. Night of the Comet, 1984. Night of the Comet used dust that burned the lead actress so badly they stopped filming. Tom Eberhardt wrote and directed this fun sci-fi comedy. Catherine Mary Stewart played the brave lead. They shot it on a very tiny budget. The crew used red dust for the space effects. It got into the actors' eyes. The production paused to fix the mess. The movie finally hit theaters. It made only $14 million. That was a total box office disappointment. Critics ignored it completely at first. The studio pushed it aside very fast. It vanished from the public eye. Then television reruns brought it back. Teen girls loved the Tough Sisters. The neon style looked truly amazing. People still talk about it today because it mixes horror and fun perfectly. It is just pure crazy 80s cheese. Then, a future dictatorship crushed a man's spirit. Life Force, 1985. Life Force featured a naked space vampire walking through London, and nobody stopped her. Tobe Hooper directed this crazy sci-fi horror. Cannon Films spent $25 million on it. They really wanted a massive summer hit. The production built huge, crazy miniatures. The special effects took months to finish. The movie opened in theaters. It made only $11 million. Cannon lost a huge fortune on it. Critics hated the wild, crazy plot. They called it total pure garbage. The movie died a very fast death. Tobe Hooper lost his career momentum. Then home video made it a legend. Horror fans loved the crazy space zombies. The giant effects looked truly incredible. People still talk about it today because it is completely insane. It throws everything right at the screen. Then two alien enemies had to share a tent. Enemy Mine, 1985. Enemy Mine had an alien pregnancy that shocked test audiences so much they pulled it from release. Wolfgang Petersen directed this crazy sci-fi drama. Dennis Quaid starred as the scared human pilot. Louis Gossett Jr. played the weird alien. They shot it in massive hot sets. Richard Lon Crane started directing first. The studio fired him very fast. Petersen took over and reshot everything. The budget ballooned out of control. Fox released the finished movie. It made only $12 million. It was a massive box office bomb. Nobody cared about the alien friendship. It faded into obscurity very fast. Then cable found the movie. People loved the enemy bonding story. The makeup held up perfectly. People still talk about it today because the message of peace hits hard. It is a very beautiful, crazy story. Then, killer slugs invaded a college. Night of the Creeps, 1986. Night of the Creeps had a director who refused to tell the actors the alien twist. Fred Decker wrote and directed this wild horror sci-fi. Tom Atkins starred as the angry tough cop. They shot it on a very fast schedule. The studio kept interfering with the edit. Decker hated the final studio cut. Columbia Pictures dumped it into theaters. It made less than $200,000 on opening weekend. It was a total financial wipeout. The studio pulled it from theaters instantly. The movie seemed gone forever. Then VHS rentals saved it. Kids loved the crazy space slug monsters. The fun tone felt like a comic book. People still talk about it today because it never takes itself seriously. It is one perfect crazy midnight movie. Then, a robot sex doll destroyed a man. Cherry 2000, 1987. Cherry 2000 had a robot sex doll that broke down more than the real cars on set. Steve DeJarnette directed this weird sci-fi adventure. Melanie Griffith starred as the tough tracker. The production filmed in the hot Nevada desert. Orion Pictures delayed the release for 2 whole years. They did not know what to do with it. It finally hit empty theaters. It made less than $1 million. It was a catastrophic box office bomb. The studio lost everything on it. Audiences completely ignored the crazy robot plot. It vanished into the dark video store bins. Then cult fans rescued it. The weird future looked truly amazing. The action scenes felt super fun. People still talk about it today because the romance is totally bizarre. It is a truly great forgotten gem. Then Satan hid inside a glowing tube. The Hidden, 1987. The Hidden had an alien that drove a Ferrari so fast it crashed through a giant billboard. Jack Shoulder directed this crazy sci-fi action. Kyle MacLachlan played the weird alien cop. They shot it in Los Angeles. The production used tons of real explosions. New Line Cinema released it into theaters. It made only $10 million. The budget was $5 million. It barely broke even for them. The studio wanted a much bigger hit. They pushed it aside for bigger movies. It disappeared from theaters very fast. Nobody talked about the crazy alien slug. Then HBO aired it constantly. Action fans loved the wild car chases. The body swapping blew their minds. People still talk about it today because the pace is lightning fast. It truly never stops moving at all. Then Sunglasses revealed the ugly truth. Slipstream, 2005. Slipstream had wind machines so powerful they blew a truck off the road during filming. Steven Lisberger directed this crazy sci-fi adventure. Mark Hamill played the crazy bounty hunter. Bob Peck played the scared fugitive. They shot it in the crazy deserts of Turkey. The production faced massive deadly sandstorms. The budget spiraled out of control. Gary Kurtz produced it after Star Wars. The movie hit empty theaters. It made less than $1 million. It was a total financial disaster. Audiences hated the very slow story. They wanted crazy action. They got a slow, boring chase movie. It died a horrible death. Hamill fans ignored it completely. Then British sci-fi fans found it. They loved the strange wind world. The quiet mood felt totally different. People still talk about it today because it is a weird hidden treasure. It is a totally unique movie. Then, Deep Water drove everyone insane. The Abyss, 1989. The Abyss had a set so deep, the cast and crew caught infections from the cold, stagnant water. James Cameron directed this crazy underwater sci-fi. Ed Harris starred as the tough, angry diver. They built a giant water tank in an abandoned nuclear plant. Cameron forced them to swim for 12 hours a day. Harris almost drowned during one scary scene. The production went totally insane. Fox spent $70 million on it. The movie opened in theaters. It made only $54 million. It was a massive box office loss. The water effects took forever to finish. Audiences found it way too long. The studio panicked instantly. Cameron took the heavy blame for it. Then the special effects won awards. The water tentacle blew everyone away. People still talk about it today because it pushed tech to the limit. Then a scary phone call ended the world. Miracle Mile, 1989. Miracle Mile had a production delay so long the director forgot he even made the movie. Steve DeJarnette wrote and directed this crazy sci-fi panic story. Anthony Edwards played the lonely musician. He answers a random ringing payphone. A voice says nuclear war is starting. DeJarnette fought studios for years to make it. Nobody wanted to touch the very dark script. It finally got a tiny budget. They shot it in Los Angeles at night. It played at small film festivals. It barely got a real theatrical release. It made almost $0 at the box office. The dark ending scared away distributors. The movie seemed lost forever. Then VHS tapes circulated among fans. The real-time panic felt insane. The neon colors looked beautiful. People still talk about it today because the anxiety feels completely real. It gives you a heart attack. Then, metal consumed a man. Tetsuo, the Iron Man, 1989. Tetsuo, the Iron Man used real metal scraps that cut the actor so badly he needed real stitches. Shinya Tsukamoto directed this insane Japanese sci-fi horror. He shot it in black and white. They used zero budget. Tsukamoto built the metal props in his own garage. The production took over a year to finish. Nobody wanted to distribute it. It was too weird. It played at small indie theaters. It made almost no money. The graphic body horror shocked everyone. Audiences walked out in total disgust. It looked like a dead end. The studio gave up on the crazy project. Then midnight movie fans found it years later. The stop-motion metal looked insane. The loud industrial music blew their ears out. Critics praised the wild visual style. People still talk about it today because it is pure visual chaos. It breaks your brain completely. Then the greatest anime ever made lost every penny. Akira, 1988. Akira cost so much money the studio HEAD to sell the film rights just to pay the angry animators. Katsuhiro Otomo directed this massive sci-fi anime. He wanted to draw every single background detail. The production needed over 2,000 animation shots. The studio went bankrupt funding it. Otomo worked insane hours every single day. The team painted every single cell by hand. The movie finally hit theaters in Japan. It made only $10 million. The budget was $11 million. It was a huge financial disaster. The studio lost everything they had. The massive success never came. It really seemed like a total failure for everyone. Then it traveled to America. Western fans had never seen anything like it. The famous motorcycle slide became super iconic. The crazy psychic powers blew their minds. People still talk about it today because it changed animation forever. It is easily the greatest anime ever made. Which wild disaster is your favorite masterpiece? Comment below. Subscribe for more. Stay crazy. Goodbye.